Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video tutorial. And I'm just doing my quick double check to make sure that I'm live where I want to be, which it looks like I am. I see myself out here on my page, so hopefully a few of you are hopping in here as I'm getting everything set up. So all right, yep, looks like we're good to go, and I can see Karen is here, so hey, hope you're doing well. Oh, and Patricia's here, and Robbie, so yay, thanks ladies for jumping in. Oh, and Mary Laughlin's here, way. So, and I see Angie and Patricia, so hey ladies, thanks so much again for hopping in. And sorry again about the hour delay, had a little appointment with my daughter and had to run out and run back, and anyway, so I'm here and all is good. So let's get rolling. This is the card project we're going to be doing today, and this is actually one that I did with my team on Sunday at our team meeting. So you guys, it's almost like you were there or something. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and get rolling on this. I used the Piece of Cake stamp set bundle, which, as most of you know, has been it was brought out in the occasions catalog, and it got put away temporarily just because they actually, this is a better time for you, Mary. Good. Okay, maybe I'll think about switching it then. So the punch actually sold way better than they thought it would, and so they actually ended up taking this and turning the number off on it so that it didn't get too far back ordered. But I played with it and used it just because it's showing as back in stock on Monday. So yay, hopefully this bundle will be available, and anybody who's got it sitting and waiting on back order, hopefully it'll be shipping out sooner rather than later to you guys. So again, the bundle should be available again starting on Monday, the 18th of March. So hopefully that will be true, and hopefully it'll be there. So like I said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and so far it's still showing as available on the 18th. So hopefully that's true. So all right, so let us get rolling on the card. I did do, as usual, a couple things ahead of time, so I'll show you those here in just a second. So I went ahead and pre-embossed one of the panels here, one of the Whisper White cardstock panels. It's cut to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inch, and again, I'll be posting all the details, all the links to everything that I'm using here out on my blog tomorrow, so no need to worry about writing everything down today. So, and Debbie says that she's looking forward to getting her hands on this bundle. It is a good one, so you definitely want to get it. So, all right, so this is the lace dynamic embossing folder, and hopefully, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera because you know it's clear. So hopefully you can see it fairly well. But this is a really pretty embossing folder, one of my favorites. Hey Jennifer, thanks for hopping in. Oh, and I see Mary's here too. Oh boy, here we go. All right, so went ahead and pre-embossed this so that you didn't have to watch me run it through the Big Shot. And all I'm doing is adhering this to a layer of Whisper White cardstock that is 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around. So this one measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to use a little snail, and actually when I emboss panels, I generally put the snail on the bottom flat panel just so that I don't smash down my embossing when I'm doing my adhering. So that's all. All right, so. Oh, Karen's saying I'm in trouble now. Yes, I definitely am, because Mary always causes trouble. See? Everybody knows. I like giving Mary a hard time, as you all know. I give her a hard time during her videos. She gives me a hard time during mine. So, you know, I guess it's all fair. So, all right, so we got this adhered together using a little bit of snail. Going to set that aside for a second. The next thing I did was I took a little bit of this really pretty silver. It's the metallic ribbon, and 3/8 inch metallic ribbon, so it's very pretty ribbon. Took a little length of that, and I'm going to adhere it on the back of, again, a pre-cut oval that I did with one of these stitched shapes. I say that wrong, stitched shapes framelits dies. And I just used the largest of the ovals on there and just cut Whisper White cardstock with it. So I went ahead and did that ahead of time as well. So I'm going to adhere it in sort of like I did on here, hopefully somewhat similar, in like a little zigzag across it. So, and it doesn't need to be too exact or precise, you know, it's just sort of putting it on there. So I think we'll start up here, and I'm going to run it like this, do a little loop here, a little bit like that, maybe adhere it here, and then another little loop here. And I did leave the ends, the little tails plenty long. I am definitely going to need to trim those, but as you all know, it's much easier to trim things down than it is to try to add Oh, my scissors is not wanting to cut. It's a little harder to add ribbon when you've cut it too short, because yes, I've done that many times thinking that I'll conserve the ribbon and then end up hacking a whole bunch of it up because I've messed up and made it too short. So, all right. All right, so we got that ready to go. Going to take a couple little Stampin' Dimensionals and adhere it to the card front. Super simple. All right. See a couple more people are hopping on here, so welcome, ladies, and feel free to say hello, and I will try to pay attention to your comments. Sometimes it's easier than others depending on what I'm doing and how much I'm screwing up here. So I see Leslie's hopping on, and it looks like Marcy's on too. So hey, ladies, thanks for joining, and hope you enjoy the video. So I'm just going to adhere this on, and I did it kind of on the lower left corner on my card. So got most of the card front done except for the main stamping of the images. And again, I went ahead and pre-cut for the sentiment banner. I used one of the bunch of banners framelits dies, and it was this one in particular. And this one actually cuts two banners at once. Well, it's more of the banner and an outline of the banner. And all I needed was the inner banner on this one, so just did a little pre-cutting on that. And I'm going to stamp the cake image as well. And we're going to use Versamark ink, and we're going to heat emboss it with silver embossing powder, so you're going to get to hear the heat gun and or the heat tool, so hopefully that won't be too loud, but go ahead. Just inking up the sentiment, and I use the Mr. and Mrs. since this one is a wedding card. Use that sentiment, and hopefully I got it straight. Sprinkle it with the silver embossing powder, and I'm going to wait for a second to use the heat tool on it until I've got the cake stamped as well, so that I can get them both done at the same time rather than having to run the heat tool twice and have you listen to that racket 2 times. All right, same thing, Versamark ink with the little cake image. Oh, well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Oh, hey, Kathy's hopping on. See what happens? I start paying attention to what I'm doing and not the comments, and then I miss half you guys. So, all right, that looks pretty good. And again, I've been asked before how I store my embossing powders. I actually use, they're very inexpensive, these Ziploc containers, and just dump the embossing powder in there, have a little spoon, keep it handy, and then I can sprinkle it right over the top of the container, dump the excess back in, and it's usually, I'm not going to say I've never spilled, because I did actually knock an entire container of that over once, and it was black and it was everywhere. Anyway, but usually I can keep it pretty well contained and my mess contained. So hey, looks like Roz is hopping on too, and all right, I see, yeah, lots of ladies on, so thanks again for joining me. All right, you're hopping on just in time to hear all the racket of the heat tool, so I'm going to turn this on for a second, and I'll probably not do a whole lot of talking while I'm doing this. I don't know, maybe you can hear me better, but I think it just makes a bunch of noise, so hang on. And I did turn it on, if you can hear me, to the level 2 setting on the heat tool, which is the one that you use to emboss. And we're just waiting for it. Hopefully you can see it on the screen, just waiting for the embossing powder to get a little bit shiny and smooth. And then it's all done cooking. You don't want to overcook it because you can actually burn embossing powder. And yes, I have done it before. Many things I have to learn the hard way, and you know, that's how I know not to do them for next time. So, all right, so we got these here. I'm going to give it just a second, wave it around a little bit to make sure everything is good and dry before I start handling anything. Because again, it's wet, and if you stick your fingers on it right away, then you'll get a nice fingerprint in your pretty embossing, which I don't think you want. So the next thing I did was took a couple of Stampin' Right markers, and I'm coloring the images in here. And the nice thing about this little image is that, first of all, it's quick to color, and secondly, you don't need to be like an excellent coloring person in order to be able to do it. You're pretty much just filling in the dots. So for the green on the leaves, I am using Pear Pizzazz, Stampin' Right marker, not the Stampin' Blends, because Stampin' Blends do not get along very well with embossed images. It actually kind of melts the embossing powder on it, and then gets stuck all up in your markers and kind of ruins them. So definitely, I don't use it. I know you can if you're really careful, but you definitely don't want to do blending and that kind of thing on any type of an embossed image. So Daffodil Delight Stampin' Right marker, and I'm using that to color in the daisy centers on my little flowers. And then Flirty Flamingo is the last one, and I'm going to use that to color in the little rose images. And hopefully I'm not coloring in any of the petals. I think it's all flowers that I'm coloring, because I've done that before where I've coloring away and thinking I'm getting everything good, and then I'm like, oh, well, that was a petal instead of a flower, but oh well, it's all good. So, all right, I think we pretty well got all of them. So, yeah, definitely. Like I said, you can use your Stampin' blends with them, but you need to be pretty careful about it, and you don't want to do a lot of blending because it almost melts the embossing powder again, and then you just end up with a huge mess, and it's not good for the ends of your markers either. So at least I don't recommend doing it. Again, I know I'm not going to say you can't do it, but I don't recommend doing it. If you are going to, just do a little tiny bit of coloring, and then that's it. So, all right, next thing, punched it out with the Cake Builder punch. All right, and then I'm also going to punch out, and this is a little piece of silver foil sheets, and I'm going to go ahead and punch out the little cake plate from the silver foil sheets. So that is it. We got most of the pieces here for our card front. Let me get the markers up here and out of the way. All right. And, oh, that's the white one. I'm like, what in the world? How did I get two cake plates punched? But anyway, all right, so here we are. I'm going to use a little snail, and I'm going to adhere on the piece or the cake image. Maybe. There we go. And I'm just going to take it, and I didn't do any really precise, so it has to be in this exact location. As you know, card making is sort of, I got some goobers on the card front. Get a little heavy-handed with a snail, but that's all good. It rubs right off. So, all right. So got the cake on there, and then I'm going to add the cake plate and use a little bit of the multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere that. And hopefully I'm putting this on the right one. I guess I should flip it over and make sure that it's the silver one and not the white one. I think I threw the white one out. Yep, silver. Good. Whew, okay. And I'm just going to take that and tuck it right up underneath the cake. Hopefully get it to glue down. I'm going to hold that for just a second to make sure that I'm here. And it's stuck down. All right, so I think we're good on that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment. Oh, good for a 25th wedding anniversary. Yep, that would work too. So, but yeah, like I said, I think this one's a pretty versatile set, and I actually really like it. And you can mix and match sentiments with lots of different things. Obviously, it's got birthday and wedding sentiments in it. But yeah, just like Robbie said, you can definitely do it for an anniversary or something like that as well. All right, whoop, that's not quite where I want it to be. I want to make sure I'm somewhat straight. All right. So that's most of the card front. The last thing that I did was just added in a couple of little rhinestones. I used one of the bigger ones and sort of, again, just randomly stuck them on the card front. And then I used two of the little ones, put one of them over here, and then one down here on the sentiment. All right. Last thing that I did for the card front, anyway, was just use a thick Whisper White card base, and then I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere, because I'm sort of like Mary, only I don't use 29 Stampin' Dimensionals on each of my cards. I do use a lot of them, so everything is dimensionalized, or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's some official word for it, but dimensionalized works. Debbie is asking, is this set available? The stamp set is currently available. The bundle is due back in stock on the 18th of March, so that is Monday. So all should be good as of Monday. You should be able to get the stamp set and the punch together in a bundle again. So, all right. All right, so that's the card front. Now what we have left, let me hit the camera one more time, is just to do the inside of the card, and I kept that pretty simple on here. Just did a little sentiment and a heart inside, and I stamped it in smoky slate, stamped the sentiment in smoky slate ink. And just super simple again. Hopefully I'll get it straight and even. All right, it doesn't look too bad. And then did a little heart underneath it in Flirty Flamingo ink. I'm glad you ladies like it. Like I said, it was a super quick card, and I think the ladies liked it when we stamped it at the team meeting over the weekend too. So at least they seem to. A couple of people took it home and did different sentiments on it, so I'm assuming that they were going to do anniversary or something like that instead of wedding cards. But anyway. anyway, but it's a good stamp set. Like I said, I think you'll definitely, when it comes back in stock, you'll definitely want to order the bundle because I do really like the punch a lot. And we have been told that the punch is definitely going to be in the next catalog. So I'm hoping that means that we're going to get a new stamp set that'll go with it as well. So we will see, hopefully. All right, the last thing, just to go ahead and do a quick little crease across it with a bone folder. So that is it. So that's my card share for today. Hopefully you guys like it, and it actually only took a few minutes. Again, I did a few things ahead of time, but really to put the card together only took a few minutes, and hopefully you guys like it. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, like I said, I'll be posting all the details and links to all the products that I used to create this card out on my blog tomorrow, so you can take a look there. And then the last thing I wanted to remind you about is Celebration is coming to an end, which I'm kind of shocked. I can't believe it's almost over. March 31st, Celebration ends, so make sure that you get your orders in so that you can get your free items during Celebration. And then also don't forget, if you're considering joining, it is an awesome time to do that right now because you get $175 worth of product in your starter kit for only $99. And there's also the option to add on the craft and carry tote, and you'll still get $179 worth of product in your kit for $129. So you get $175 in products plus the craft and carry tote for $129, or just the $175 in product for $99. So if you're considering joining, we would love to have you on our team. We've got a fun group, and as you can see, we sort of harass each other a little bit, but that makes it fun. So have a good group of ladies, and had a gentleman in the past, but he's no longer on the team, but we welcome ladies, gentlemen, anybody who is interested in getting the discount for themselves, or if you're interested in running a business, we can help you do that too. So, all right, I think that's all that I have to share today. I'll finally stop talking. Hope that you all have a fantastic day. Again, thanks for joining me, and thanks for hanging out, spending some time, and thanks for coming in a little bit later today. So I will plan to see you all next week, Tuesday. Thank you.